Welcome to Cheater Confessions. Let's get started with today's story. My name is Joseph, and the last lie she told wasn't even that big. That's the part that got to me. It wasn't some explosive betrayal, not some scandal, just a quiet, calculated omission. Dorothy left on a Thursday afternoon. I got home from work, dropped my keys in the bowl by the door, and noticed her gym bag missing, along with a couple of changes of clothes from the dresser. No note, no message, nothing. A couple of hours went by. I called once, no answer. Then a text buzzed in. Hey, don't worry. I'm at a wellness retreat with Amanda for a few days. Needed to reset. Totally forgot to mention it earlier. You've been so busy. That was it. I stood in the kitchen with that message glowing on my screen, and I swear it was like I could hear something click in my head, like a door shutting, not slamming, just closing, softly. This wasn't the first time she did something like this. It was just the last time I'd let her. I didn't text back. I didn't call. I just put the phone down and sat at the edge of the bed in silence, not angry, not even surprised, just done. See, people think the end of a relationship is one big dramatic moment, but it's not. It's 1,000 tiny cuts, 100 ignored conversations. It's the slow, grinding erosion of respect until all that's left is two people who used to try. She probably thought I'd wait around again, maybe text her the next day, ask her how the retreat was, maybe even make her favorite dinner like I used to. But that wasn't happening. Because when someone leaves and forgets to tell the person they live with, they're not just going away for a few days. They're already gone. And yeah, I know this sounds like the ending, but it's not. It's just the part where the mask finally slips, and you realize maybe they were never really with you to begin with. Dorothy and I met at a business networking event in Charlotte. She worked in brand marketing, sharp as hell, always dressed like she had somewhere better to be. I ran a consulting firm, still do. Numbers, systems, structure. That's my world. She stood out. Not just the looks, though, yeah, she had that too. It was her energy. Fast-talking, curious, a little reckless in a way that made people lean in. We got drinks afterward. She teased me for being too strategic, and I told her, somebody's got to drive the car while you're dancing on the roof. She laughed. I remember thinking, this might go somewhere. And it did. For a while, it was good. We balanced each other. Her spontaneity pulled me out of my schedule. My order steadied her. We talked long-term early. I told her straight, I don't do joint bank accounts. Not a trust issue, just a rule. My father went through hell when my mother drained their joint savings and vanished. Took him years to recover. I swore I'd never be in that position. Dorothy said she understood. You're serious about your lines, she said. I nodded. I am. She didn't push it. At first. About a year in, she started making comments. This would be easier if we just had one account. Why are you so rigid about money? It's not romantic. We're building a life together, right? I stuck to my line, but I noticed the shift. She wanted shared power, even if it meant pushing past boundaries. Eventually, we compromised. We opened a basic expense account. Bills, groceries, rent, nothing major. I watched it closely, not out of paranoia, just habit. She said, feels like we're really a team now. I wanted to believe that. But something about it felt off. Like she didn't really accept the boundary, just learned how to work around it. That pattern became familiar. Dorothy never screamed. She didn't storm out. She just wore things down, quietly, slowly, like a river carving through stone, pretending it's soft, while it cuts right through the foundation. We moved in together in year 3. I had a condo in the South End, but Dorothy hated the layout, said it felt like a dentist's office. So we found a loft in Noda. Big windows, exposed brick, overpriced. She loved it. Around the same time, she quit her job. I need space to breathe, she said. 9 to 5's killing my creativity. I didn't push back. She picked up freelance work here and there, enough to justify it, not enough to sustain anything. I covered the rest without complaining. That's when Amanda started showing up more. Dorothy's friend from college, one of those people who always seemed one wine glass away from suggesting a terrible idea. She was around constantly, sleepovers, brunches, business idea chats that led nowhere. Then came the wellness weekends. At first, they were casual. Going to Asheville with Amanda, back Sunday. No problem. But they got more frequent. Sometimes she wouldn't mention them until the day before, sometimes not at all. One Friday, I came home to an empty closet and a scribbled note on the fridge. Gone with Amanda. Don't wait up. I didn't explode. I just asked, "You think it's normal to just vanish for 3 days without a word?" She looked up from her laptop like I'd interrupted something trivial. It was spontaneous. We were just talking and decided to go. Why are you always acting like my schedule needs to go through customs? I kept my voice steady. Because we live together. That usually means basic courtesy. She sighed. You're turning into one of those guys who needs a permission slip. That one hit me. Not because I cared about permission, but because I realized we weren't even in the same reality anymore. She saw me as control. I saw her as chaos. We weren't talking about trips or timing. We were talking about the fact that she was slipping out of the life we were building and acting like I was crazy for noticing. That's when I started writing things down. Patterns, dates, changes in tone, not to use against her, just so I could stop questioning myself. Because when someone starts erasing lines you both drew together, you need to remember where they used to be. The joint expense account was only for essentials. That was the rule. But I still reviewed it every month, out of routine more than anything. Then one day I saw a charge from a boutique hotel in Savannah. 2 nights, spa services, room service. The date matched a weekend Dorothy told me she was visiting her aunt in Raleigh. I didn't bring it up. Not right away. I just sat with it. Let it marinate. Maybe it was a gift. Maybe Dorothy paid and Amanda was supposed to cover the room later. A million excuses floated by. But the gut knows. The next clue came from Amanda herself. They were in the kitchen laughing over smoothies when I walked in. Amanda said, "Savannah was wild. Your wife's still recovering." Then she paused, looked at me. Dorothy's smile froze for half a second. "That was a while ago," she said quickly. "Remember? I told you we went there." I didn't blink, just nodded. "Yeah, you mentioned something like that." I let it go. But the glass had cracked. From there, it was all about listening, watching. One night, she was on the phone in the bedroom, door half open. I heard her say, "It's not like I'm really married. It's complicated." That was the moment. Not the trip, not the lie, not even Amanda. It was hearing the words come out of her mouth, casually, like our life was just something she could step in and out of. Like the commitment meant nothing unless it suited her. She came out 20 minutes later, all smiles. I was on the couch, reading. "You want to order pizza?" she asked, like nothing had happened. I looked up. "Who were you talking to?" She shrugged. "Amanda. Why?" I nodded. "Just curious." She tilted her head. "You've been weird lately." "Have I?" "Yeah. You're always watching. Quiet." I didn't respond. I just went back to my book. Because there's a point where words stop doing anything, where saying, "I heard you say you're basically single," becomes meaningless. At that point, you're not trying to fix anything. You're just watching someone light the match and waiting to see if they realize they're standing in gasoline. The confrontation wasn't planned. It just happened. It was a Wednesday night. We just finished dinner, takeout, like always lately. Dorothy was scrolling her phone, legs up on the coffee table, acting like the world was fine. I said, "Do you want to tell me what's going on?" She didn't even look up. "What do you mean?" "You've been disappearing for weekends, lying about where you are, saying things like you're not really married." She scoffed. "You're digging through receipts now? Are you seriously that insecure?" I kept my tone level. "No, I'm observant, and I'm tired of pretending I don't see what's right in front of me." She looked up, finally. "Joseph, for God's sake, I go on a few trips with my friend and suddenly I'm cheating on you?" I didn't say cheating. I said lying, hiding, acting like this life we built doesn't exist unless it's convenient for you. She slammed her phone down. "You want to know what's going on? Fine. I'm exhausted. You schedule everything. You analyze everything. You act like life is some spreadsheet that I'm constantly messing up." I didn't flinch. "So you lie because I'm structured?" "I lie because you're suffocating." That one landed. Not because it was true, but because I saw what she was doing. "You're trying to make this my fault." She didn't deny it, just shrugged. "I needed life back, Joseph. You've turned into this boring appliance. You used to laugh. You used to do things." I stood up. You mean I made it easy for you to ignore reality? She rolled her eyes. You're so dramatic. And right there, that was it. Not the lies, not the gaslighting, not even the disrespect. It was the complete lack of remorse, the belief that she could tear down 5 years of trust and walk away smirking. I didn't argue back, didn't rise to it. I just looked at her and said, okay. She narrowed her eyes. Okay what? Nothing. Just okay. Then I walked out of the room, because there's a kind of silence louder than any fight, and I wanted her to hear every second of it. She thought I'd blow up, wait for her to say sorry, crawl through the same loop we'd been dancing in for the last year. But I didn't. I waited, I watched, and then I moved. 3 days later, she left again. Another impromptu weekend with Amanda, of course. No warning. Just a text 2 hours before she hit the road. Don't forget to water the plants. Be back Sunday night. Need air. She always needed air. I just stopped being the oxygen. When I got home, I didn't waste time. I opened the closet and pulled down the suitcase I hadn't used in months, folded every piece of clothing I owned with calm hands, took the tools, the books, the chargers, the memories that still mattered. I left behind the dinnerware she picked out, the framed beach photo from our second year, the his and hers coffee mugs she found cute on Etsy. That was all hers now. I boxed up the lease paperwork, drove straight to the leasing office, and signed my exit. The guy at the front desk looked surprised. Moving out already? Yeah, I said. Change of pace. He nodded. That happens. Back home, I did one last walkthrough, made sure I didn't forget anything. The place looked cleaner than it had in weeks, still. Cold. I stood in the kitchen, grabbed a sticky note, and wrote, "You were right. This wasn't marriage." Stuck it to the fridge. That was it. No long letter, no playlist of regrets, just a few words. Enough. I turned off the lights, locked the door, and walked away. She didn't know it yet, but the retreat she'd taken wasn't hers alone. I left too. Only difference? I wasn't coming back. That night, I blocked her number, deleted her from shared accounts, removed her access to everything with my name on it. The apartment was no longer my home. That woman was no longer my wife. And peace, real, uninterrupted, earned peace, was finally mine. The first call came Sunday night, right on schedule. I didn't recognize the number, so I let it go to voicemail. Her voice came through, breathless. "Joseph, where are you? The place is... everything's gone. Are you okay? Please call me." I didn't even let the message play all the way through. Then came another number, different area code. She was trying from Amanda's phone now. "This isn't fair," she said. "You don't get to just vanish like this. We need to talk." A third one, a fourth, one after another, each message sounding more confused than the last. Then came anger. "Oh, I see what this is. You want me to chase you. You're punishing me. Real mature, Joseph." Then came guilt. "Okay, maybe I haven't been perfect. But this is cruel. We're married. You owe me a conversation." She kept saying that. You owe me. Not once did she say, "I'm sorry." I listened to every voicemail once, then deleted them all, one by one. She wasn't trying to repair anything. She was trying to reassert control, trying to reset the game. But I'd already taken myself off the board. I didn't block Amanda's number. I didn't need to. I knew she'd stop once the silence got heavy enough. And it did. 3 days went by, then a week. No more calls, just the absence. And in that absence, I finally started breathing again. I got a small place across town. Nothing fancy, clean, quiet. My name on the door, and only mine. I'd wake up, make coffee, sit on the balcony, and hear nothing but wind and traffic. No guilt, no drama, no walking on eggshells. Just space. The kind she was always chasing. The kind I finally gave to myself. A few days later, I met with a lawyer and filed for divorce. Quick, clean, no delays. She hadn't responded to the paperwork yet. But that wasn't my concern anymore. I had done my part. I was out. Sometimes people think silence is cruel, that not explaining yourself is heartless. But the truth is, silence is what people get when they've burned every word you had left, and when they've mistaken your endurance for weakness, your restraint for fear, until the day you vanish without a sound. That's not revenge. That's clarity. It's been 4 months since I left. I haven't seen her. Haven't heard her voice since that last round of voicemails. She tried emailing once. Short message, no subject line. Can we talk like adults? I didn't answer. Not because I wanted to punish her, because there was nothing left to say. I look back on it now, not with regret, but with precision. Like reviewing an old project. You see the errors, the warnings, the missed signs, but mostly, you see how long you were willing to stay with someone who stopped showing up. Dorothy didn't cheat on me in the traditional sense, at least not that I can prove. But that's not what broke us. It was the slow dismissal of everything we said we stood for, the refusal to meet effort with effort, the twisting of accountability into control, the way she took every boundary as a dare. She thought I'd never leave. That's the thing. She thought I'd stay until she decided I was no longer useful, or interesting, or available. And even then, she assumed she'd get the last word. But that's the funny part about respect. When it's gone, the silence left behind is louder than any apology. The people who need to hear it the most never do. I was disappearing in that place long before I packed a bag. Now, every morning I make my own coffee. Every night, I sleep without wondering if I'll wake up to an empty bed or another excuse. I don't miss her. I miss who I thought she was. But even that fades. The divorce went through last month. No fight, no apology, just a signature and silence. Because in the end, it wasn't the last lie that broke us. It was that she thought I'd stay after hearing it. And I didn't. And I never will again. Thank you for watching.